The other taxpayer we had was in Gulu, and that is Gulu Pentagon General Suppliers Limited. Now, this gentleman is the plug for any Bajaj in Gulu City. I don't know if you understand when I say that. This man supplies close to 200 Bajajes. And it's crazy how he has tried to maintain that he's one of our stakeholders that we normally engage. He's also a member of the border community in Gulu City.
Yes.
These are people that are helping us. They are our ambassadors. They spread taxes.
Yes.
And if you see, his methodology is simple.
Yeah.
A Bajaj for everyone.
A Bajaj for everyone.
Everyone. And
yes.
if you look at the employment rates in the northern region, this could be one of the most, if not the best, employer in the region, the border business.
I think that's amazing. Not only is he contributing to the transport industry, but many families are being supported with household income through this.
So he's a gentleman in a dark blue shirt,
yes,
tucked in with a grey. And on the left, there are two ladies. I didn't really get the family relationship, but all I know is in Gulu, again, the brother is putting on blue. I don't know if you get how these visits are trying to show us something.
Oh, yes, about the thriving businesses.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, I don't know, did you have anything like this in the Western region?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Because just like it was with the David Rashemas, you realize it's not just about paying taxes and, filing returns on time. It's, your business continuity plan. One of the gentlemen that we visited, the owner of Millennium Security Limited, an amazing man, he said to us, if it wasn't for taxes, I wouldn't have grown this much. He said that the day he realized that because of his compliance in paying taxes, he was able to attract many contracts for his business, yes, and not only that, but, he found that many people were coming to him. Many clients were coming to him just because he was working faithfully and paying his taxes. I felt like he was trying to tell us, we can talk about that gentleman. Yes, right there. I feel like he was just trying to tell us.
This is the gentleman we're talking about?
No.
Okay, first
yes,
do that
but
one.
I think he was trying to tell us that there is also a divine aspect to this. I love how the good Lord said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Yeah.
He's happy because he's...
I go by that name sometimes.
His name is Caesar. So give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he was trying to tell us that when you give to the nation what belongs to the nation, and give to God what belongs to God, there is no way you can fail. And, with all the years in business, he was trying to attribute his success to his compliance and, of course, to his spiritual connection to the Lord. The gentleman that you see on the screen is called Mr. Goodman Muhanji, a smiling man, a happy man that we found right there in Mbarara, the proprietor of Block Technical Services. This man was just so happy to host the Assistant Commissioner Tax Investigations Matthew Mugavi and the Assistant Commissioner Administration Ishtanaziwa Chambade, and he was so happy. He could not believe it. He was shocked off his socks that he was among the taxpayers in Mbarara that were being rewarded. He actually sat us down and we had to explain to him how out of all the taxpayers, it was him that was selected to receive this.
Oh, yeah. And I see the picture. It speaks volumes.
Yes.
I see.
We told him, you are the third most compliant taxpayer. He was the third most compliant taxpayer in the entire western region, southwestern region, yes. And, he kept looking at us in this shock and like, how? And he said, well, all I make sure is that my accountant has the taxes paid on time. One common thing that we saw about the taxpayers, Moses, was the fact that some of them that were really very compliant were not per se in themselves very compliant, but they just had these accountants that were dotting and were very keen to make sure that the taxes were
Paid on time.
That was the case of Mr. Muhanji. And so when he sat there and realized he's the third most, he was just so happy and he felt so grateful to his accountant. And so Mr. Muhanji right there is the Director of Block Technical Services. And
maybe, speaking of accountants,
yes.
Let me just drop in and I take you to one of our taxpayers we visited, and that is Maharaja Agro Machinery.
Yes.
I was impressed by these gentlemen. These are two Pakistan brothers that are running the business. However, they employed a Ugandan, and this gentleman right here, I'm trying to zoom him in.
Yes.
He's called Frank. He's one of those people that he didn't do much of school.
Okay.
To be surprised by his education levels. But he's their accountant. He understands this business most. And as far as IFRIS, these are the people in Gulu City that got onto IFRIS in the earliest stages.
Wow.
They didn't wait for any enforcement. They went there themselves. So speaking of the accountancy, I thought I would bring in these people and then we look at them.
Yes, I love that you bring that out, because that was also a common factor with the taxpayers right there in the southwestern region. The level of compliance of the taxpayers that were rewarded, most of them, their IFRIS adoption story is a common thread all over. Early adoption, real-time filing of their returns, and for most of them, the other thing that I see about them is how they're able to employ so many of our countrymen, or a portion. So even those that are running their businesses just as a family, you still find that, they have other people whose homes are benefiting because of their business. They're employing people. And you'll find for most of them, they're not just paying one tax head. They're paying VAT, they're paying rental tax, they're paying income tax, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So Moses, today we've been able to just talk about our most compliant taxpayers in the southern and the northern regions. I don't know if you have another taxpayer.
There is a taxpayer that I want us to talk about.
Yes.
And this is a non-profit organization. I was amazed by... before we even go into that non-profit organization,
yes,
let me talk about Kemis Yunus.
Okay.
Now, this is a taxpayer in Arua that we decided to reward, but the sad story is the father died. Kemis Yunus, the taxpayer that we rewarded, died 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yes, but the difference with this is the daughters, these two daughters you're seeing here, let the photo load. The daughters that you're seeing there decided to preserve their father's legacy by keeping that name there.
Wow, yes.
And he has 3 daughters. One of them wasn't around. The 2 are also not around, but they left this gentleman. He's called Arias.
Yes.
He's the one taking over. They have a rental business. They have a very huge flat.
Interesting.
Yeah,
yes.
and in regards to rental tax, these are our most active taxpayers in Arua.
In Arua.
Yes.
How intriguing.
Very interesting
yes,
to see that they refused to change the name of the business, and they decided
just
to
keep
keep
the
on
owner.
the father who died almost 3 years ago.
Yes.
This is something I have not seen in a very long time.
Yes.
And maybe still in Arua. Let me see, I can find that image, Noela. Maybe you could be telling us about any other taxpayer that we could have missed out, Noela, as I get this one here.
Yes. We had one taxpayer, he was an Indian. And that particular taxpayer that he was shocked to see us. He was also operating right there in Rukunjiri. The proprietor of Shri Varahi Enterprises Limited. He was so happy. Mr. Ankit Kumar Patel.
Did you say Shri?
Yes.
What business are they doing?
Shri Varahi Enterprises, and they're engaged in hardware, the sale of hardware, paints, glass, basically a retail outlet. But their consistency and compliance, and operating right there in Rukunjiri, and speaking the language of the people, I think it was just amazing. It's amazing I love how certain people come even to our country and they're just one of us. They are patriotic and they're paying their taxes on time, and they love our people, they love our villages. We were just so grateful
before
for Mr. Patel. Yes.
Noella, this is interesting. You had a Shri in the Western region, and we also had a Shri Impex Limited.
In Rukunjiri,
and
yes.
so I want to find out, is there a connection between these two companies? Because the Shri we had in Lira
Yes.
was selling paints.
Oh, interesting. Was it Shri Varahi Enterprises?
No, this is Shri Impex Limited.
Oh, okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know. Do we have another double business? I don't know.
I wouldn't know, but what I really enjoyed about this particular gentleman, is that he had 100% on-time filing of his returns.
That's impeccable.
And that was a blessing to hear. He was the first person that we went down to right there in Rukunjiri, and we just said thank you so much for paying your taxes. We rally our people right there in Rukunjiri. If you're in need of any hardware, of glass, of paints, just walk down to that specialized store, and I believe that gentleman and his people will be such a blessing to you.
Yes, Noella, now, maybe to wrap up my region,
Yes.
they always say you save the best. Save the last for the best, or save the best for the last, whatever it is. But
yes.
this right here is St. Jude. Now,
Okay.
St. Jude is not a profit business.
Okay.
It's an NGO. We are rewarding it for compliance. I mean, these are people that are not having any profits for their business, but they are compliant. This organization was started in 1987 by Reverend Benedetta Aquero, who, unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace, died last year during COVID.
Oh, sorry.
He died in this country. So it is in Badege in Gulu, and they've been here for the last 30 years. They are taking care of 75 children.
Wow.
And all I liked about them is the self-containment that they're having.
Yes.
They're growing their own food. They are producing it. They're storing it themselves. They're looking after abandoned children.
Yes.
They're looking after orphans. And they're also looking at children who have run away from home.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the lady.
Such beautiful
The
ladies.
lady in black
Yes.
is a director of the company.
Yeah.
And we were impressed by her story.
Yeah.
Actually, we were moved that we actually had to donate something small
Certainly.
ourselves. I mean,
Certainly, yes.
this right here is where this country should be going. I mean, these people are not only looking at the competency, but they're also
taking
looking
care
after
of her.
people's lives.
God knows that we have so many street children,
I know.
on our streets. We have so many children that are orphaned. We have so many that are running away from their homes for one reason or the other.
Now,
So
you
to
can see
have-
the image that I'm trying to put the cursor in right here. This
Is that him?
Yes, this is a gentleman that started this organization
Wow.
28 years
Ago. Wow.
And it is still surviving. You can imagine how many children have gone through this.
Wow.
Yes.
We celebrate him. We celebrate them. We celebrate their business, and we wish them all the best. We rally our
We do.
countrymen.
And maybe also to
Yes.
rally here. Maybe Noella, you can contribute something. I promise I'll deliver it.
Or will you?
I will.
Oh, because if you will, then we can put something together certainly and send to these
Yeah,
wonderful
but you're going to have to
people.
act as an example. You do it first.
I'll do it first. Do you have a mobile money number?
Right now.
We shall do it off screen.
All right.
Well, there you have it, our dear taxpayers, our dear countrymen. Let's continue to say thank you in our own way to all our compliant people tuned in on the different televisions. It will be televised.
Yeah.
Yes, on all our main television stations. So you'll tune in and just be part of that wonderful day, because we will be saying thank you. Thank you to our taxpayers. And for those who worked for being part of this, for being part of developing our wonderful country. Until next time, Moses.
Maybe Noella, we forgot to talk about the stakeholder engagements that we had.
Okay, yes.
On Friday.
Yeah.
And while we were doing the regional visits the entire week, We had stakeholder engagements run on Friday in all regions. That included the Central, the North, the West, and the East.
Yes.
And in these stakeholder engagements, we were engaging business community leaders. We were engaging DPCs in the North. We had a challenge where, at the same time, the Right Honorable Prime Minister was in the region. The head police chief was also in the region. So you can imagine we're all engaging
it was amazing. At the same time, all
same
the
stakeholders,
yes.
engaging them. But mainly we're engaging them to understand that, how URA can work best with them.
Yes.
To see how we can maybe encourage them to be our ambassadors, to encourage voluntary compliance, because you see, they'll listen more to their business leaders than they actually will listen to a certain officer, Noella, from Uganda Revenue Authority. Maybe before I give up to Noella, my last words would be, we are having the Client Service Week. We are going to be launching very new service initiatives in our regional centers. We have Arua, Mbale, we have Jinja, we have Fort Portal, we have... even here at the tower, there are going to be a lot of activities. We're going to be having South by CG. We're going to be having a talk with the CG. We're going to be having the breakfast. There is.
Was it supposed to be a surprise?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yes.
But anyway, Noella, this has been beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, having me on the show.